Well, hello, everybody. I'm your host, John Schneider, and this is an exciting, death defying episode of Jersey Bayshore Country. Today, or actually tomorrow morning, first thing, about 5 a.m., I'm going to leave the docks here in the harbor at Atlantic Highlands, and I'm going to go out across Sandy Hook Bay, around the tip of Sandy Hook, and out about an hour and a half way out by the continental shelf where it drops off sharply. And apparently that's where the sharks are. And we're going to go shark fishing. That's right, shark fishing. Now, if we catch a shark that is not edible, we'll throw it back. If it's a shark that's edible, we'll keep it, we'll cut it up, fillet it, cook it for dinner, and we'll have a blast. So this is going to be kind of interesting because I've never done this before except once when I was a little boy. My dad took me out on a charter fishing trip out in Key West, Florida, and we caught a hammerhead shark. My mother wouldn't go. She stayed at the dock, and we all went out. And when we came back, they strung it up, and they cut out the jaws, and we had the jaws for many years as a souvenir. So when we get out there, they're going to show us how to do this. They're going to put the bait on the hook, I hope. They're going to put chum in the water. Chum is cut up fish and blood and guts and all that kind of stuff. And if I don't have a decent breakfast before I go, I may manufacture my own chum out there by, kind of letting it all letting it all out. So wish me luck. This is an episode which I like to call Holy Mackerel. Will I survive? Anyway, let's go do it, shall we? Where is the Jersey Bayshore? Let's get oriented by starting with the big picture. It's somewhere in here, part of the universe, and definitely part of our world. But it's like no place I've ever experienced. And as soon as we land, I'll show you around.
We'll be traveling probably for an hour and a half to 2 hours till we get to the good fishing grounds for the shark. While we're on our way out, we're going to be cutting up some chum. We're going to be making the bait ready. We're going to be doing all kinds of things in preparation, checking our gear to make sure that when that moment happens and we feel that strike on the line and when we see that balloon go underwater, we're going to be ready. We're not going to have equipment failures, and we're going to have plenty of the things that we need to make sure we have a great, fun, safe experience. Once we get out there and drop our lines, we're going to be setting adrift. We'll be putting chum out. We use frozen chum, which will dissipate in the water as it melts, and we also ladle some overboard, just like the movie Jaws. We do keep our eyes on the water so the shark can't sneak up on us. We don't want to have that kind of thing happening while we're out there. We'll have the bait out there within the chum line, so when the sharks come up and they start eating the chum that's all over the place, they think it's a free buffet lunch, and one of those bites that they're going to take hopefully will have one of our hooks in it. And as I said before, when that shark bites, you will know. We will all know. It'll be pandemonium, controlled chaos perhaps, maybe just chaos. Everybody will be grabbing lines, bringing in the other lines. We'll be making sure the decks are clear so that the person fighting the shark will be able to move around, keep the shark from tangling under the boat or in the propeller. They'll move back and forth. The fight could go on for 5 minutes or several hours. We'll tire that fish out so that we can handle him. He'll run for a while. We'll bring him in for a while. He'll run. We'll bring him in. And in the end of the day, hopefully, with any luck, we'll have him boat side. If we catch a blue shark or a smaller mako or a smaller thresher, these aren't sharks that are going to be any kind of table fare for us, and they're not something we want to take. We like to leave those sharks there, let them reproduce, let them get through their whole cycle, make many, many more sharks, so there's plenty of them. But if we do decide at some point that, hey, there's a mature shark, he's been around for a while, he's replenished the planet, let's take him home and get him on the plate next to the mashed potatoes. So it would be the candidate would be a large mako, really the best kind of shark there is in the world, I think, to eat. A lot of times you'll see in restaurants, if you order swordfish, you may actually be getting mako shark. That's how good they taste. We'll bring them in, we'll gut them so that they're clean so that we can eat them. They cut them into steaks for us, and then we'll be able to take them home and enjoy them. Sharks don't like people. They don't want to be around them, and they certainly don't want to eat them. You'll never hear of a shark eating a person. What they do is they bite people, and they bite them by mistake. If you dress yourself up in a black wetsuit and you put yourself on a paddleboard and you put your arms and legs out, you look like a seal. You look like a seal to a shark, and you look like dinner. So they come up, and the way they taste food, they don't smell it. They just simply take a bite out of it. They'll take a bite out of a human. They'll realize that's not what I want for dinner, and they just keep moving. Unfortunately, because they're shark and they have all those teeth, those bites can sometimes be pretty injurious to the people. So that's how they get their bad rap. If they're swimming up near the shore and the people are dancing around and they're making a lot of muck in the water and the visibility is bad for the shark, they may mistake a person for something they might want to eat. Again, they'll clamp their teeth around it. Not a great experience for the swimmer, but they'll just let go and keep going. They don't generally come back. They're not going to attack them. They're not going to stalk them. They're just going to taste them, don't like them, and move on their way. So saying that we bring shark into the beaches, we're fishing probably 40 to 55 miles offshore. I'd like to draw the sharks out there if that was a real danger to the beach. But no, in the long run, and the reality of it is, there are so many sharks that are swimming right amongst the people that they never know. Certain species migrate, certain species are residential. The makos do migrate up, they follow the bait. And just like any other fish in the sea, they pretty much go where their food and their temperature is comfortable for them. So if the bait's moving, if the mackerel's moving, if the things that they like to eat are on their move up the coast to the warmer water as summer arrives, that's when you're going to find the shark. In this area, New Jersey, in that area out there, the canyon, June. June is your best month for shark. You're going to see everybody that wants to catch a shark being out there in June. They're pretty violent when they eat. So they're going to grab that piece of bait and they're just going to keep going. If it's a bigger shark, they're not even going to know they're hooked for a few minutes. So they're going to be pulling line. We'll see the rods will be bending. That's what causes all the excitement. The drag will be screaming, just like everything you ever saw in the movies, right? Then, they'll slow down. They'll realize they're hooked. They'll try and get the hook out. Makos will tend to jump straight up out of the water and breach. Beautiful sight. I haven't been able to get it on film yet, but I've tried many, many times. So once we're deep in the fight and the shark knows they're hooked, they're going to run this way, they're going to run that way, they're going to go up, they're going to go down, and they're going to do everything they can to get off that hook. When we do finally get them to the boat, after they've tired us out and after we've tired them out to a certain point, we get them to the side of the boat. You often see that picture of the shark flailing and jumping and biting, and that shark's not trying to eat you. That shark's just trying to get away. All he wants is to get away, get that hook out of his mouth and do what he wants to do. They're the apex predators. They're used to making their own decisions and not being dragged up the side of a boat. I've talked to many, many shark authorities around the world, and even to this day, they really have more questions than answers. So to ask which sharks we'll see, there's always something new. There's always a new species. There's species they haven't seen yet. The funniest thing you'll ever want to see is when someone catches a shark that no one's ever seen and they immediately declare it endangered. We didn't even know it was there 3 days ago, but now it's an endangered species. Great whites get the worst rap because they're the biggest, right? And they're the ones with the most ferocious looking teeth, and they were of course portrayed in Jaws. In my opinion, the bull shark, most dangerous shark of all. When we were in Florida, you could see bull shark that weren't in enough water to float them. They would chase bait right up onto the beach, get themselves beached, and flop themselves back into the water. So they were amongst us. They were the ones that are most likely to make a mistake and bite into somebody. They're the ones that'll bite anything that they see. They get up in the morning and they just fish and eat and go out there and hunt prey all day long. The great white, you'll find them way offshore. They're in deep water, and again, back to nobody really knows what happens with them. In one of my tournaments, we used satellite tagging, and some of those sharks are still out there today, and they're being tracked by NOAA for their whereabouts for several years. And there is a great white right now that actually shows up on the shores of Jersey. It shows up down in the Keys. It shows up all over the place, and no one can really explain how fast and how far these sharks are swimming. They don't know exactly where great whites spawn. They don't know exactly how it happens because they go in very deep water where they can't be followed. The satellite tags don't tell the scientists where they are. So great white sharks, maybe that's why everyone's scared of them. So Shark Sense Inc. is a 501c3 charity corporation registered here in New Jersey, and we use the Shark Tournament as a fundraiser so that we can actually fund kids fishing derbies around New Jersey. So this year we're going to have 3 free kids fishing derbies, the first of which will be here in the Atlantic Highlands on their brand new fishing pier that was just built after Sandy. And we're going to highlight that fishing pier and the beautiful fishing that we have here. The first 50 kids that come will get free rods and reels, all supplied by Shark Sense Inc. The next 50 kids will get t-shirts. Everybody gets a hot dog, everybody gets a certificate, and everybody gets to listen to a nice, fun, interactive show about sharks and about conservation. So we get them young. We let them know what's right, what's wrong, and what they should be keeping and what they shouldn't be keeping. When they leave from our kids' fishing derbies, they're going to be armed with some knowledge, some certificates, a lot of fun, and perhaps a trophy.
Now, you know, Jimmy Buffett also talks about sharks, but they're land sharks. Have you run into any of those?
I think I've had run in a few of those from time to time.
And you cut the line right away when you get one of those on the hook?
So you like to play with them a little bit, and then you gotta dazzle them up a little bit, and then you might cut it.
So what are you going to do to prepare for tomorrow's thing? Are you going to pray? You're going to grease up the whatever you grease up? How are you going to prepare?
Not really much preparation. You just kind of go out there and you just play it up really, and see what comes about.
Really?
Yeah.
And do your arms get really tired reeling this thing in?
Yes, they can. Last year I was reeling in a really big blue shark last year, and after a while, and I'm like, we did a couple of laps with the shark around the boat, and after a while I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how much more I can do this, and then my crew kind of gave me a little cheerleading, like, come on, you can do this, you can do this. So, you know, I got it in about as close as we can, and then the line snapped, unfortunately. But
Holy mackerel. Are we ever going to reach a point out there where we're going to say we got to get a bigger boat?
there could be at times, yes. Yes, there definitely can be those options. I've seen them out there.
So it's going to take probably an hour and a half to get out. We're going out to where?
I don't know. I originally heard we were going to go out to the BA buoy, and then now I'm hearing we might go a little bit past that, so who knows?
And we have thunderstorms coming, so it makes it really exciting, hunting for sharks, or I guess fishing for sharks. Yes. And then also the threat of a thunderstorm, and there could be a perfect storm. You know, these squalls could come out of the blue, and while we have a shark on the line.
Yeah, they definitely could. You know, you just got to play it by ear and do the best you can with what you got.
So Jack Donlin arranged for me to take a cruise, as it were, to hunt for sharks. Only catch was I had to get up early, really early in the morning, which I did. Not surprisingly, the captain and his crew were already loading the boat with everything needed to get the job done. It was obvious to me that these guys and my new friend Cindy knew what they were doing, but I did not have a clue. At least I could take video of the operation, but I was always a little hesitant to get in their way. I didn't get much sleep, and I woke up a lot earlier than I needed to the night before, so I was very woozy. Bunker, that's like bait, fish bait, were jumping all over the place that morning, and fishermen were throwing their nets to catch them and use them. We're going to be doing the same after we shove off. The rods and reels on this boat were very heavy duty. I mean, these poles were not for stripers. Finally, we started the process to cast off and get underway into Sandy Hook Bay and beyond. Thanks to Captain Richie Redfern, who slept on his boat the night before, we'd be in pretty good hands as we made our way through the marina into a field of moving vessels, all trying to get out of the marina as early as possible. Man, the sunrise was beautiful, as it always seems to be at the Jersey Bay shore, and there was a really nice coolness in the air. Like some of the other hopeful fishermen, we too would cast the net for some bait fish before we started our voyage. It was a great-looking boat, and I loved the fact that there was a tower for me to climb, but I must confess I rarely climbed it for fear I'd fall from this tower into the water with the sharks. And then we slipped past the quiet docks of the C Street Ferry, which would eventually make its way to New York full of passengers for the weekend. And out we went into Sandy Hook Bay to take one last look at the glorious sun as we raced toward the tip of Sandy Hook. And once we made the turn into Ambrose Channel, we'd begin to see large tankers and freighters lumbering along the coast like this one. And while I could only guess at what was below the surface of the water, our depth and fish finder would provide a few more clues. And then we arrived, and almost immediately dipped the chum bucket into the water to start a large slick of blood and guts to attract any sharks. And everybody went into action. Everybody had a job to do. Everybody got ready to wait, no matter how long it took for the first strike. You know, hunting and catching sharks wasn't really on my bucket list of things to do, but I had just finished a documentary on the Matawan and Keyport shark attacks of 1916, and so that sort of piqued my curiosity. And when I learned of a shark tournament in which a non-profit organization was using the proceeds of the tournament to educate young people about sharks and would also help to conserve the species, I wanted to know more. And when I learned we wouldn't actually kill the sharks indiscriminately, I was really sold, and I asked for the opportunity to learn firsthand what it was like to fish for sharks.
It's the best when everything in the cabin's not flying all over the place.
You know, I'm not an experienced fisherman, but I do believe that any fishing that anybody does is a combination of being in the right place at the right time with the right rig and the right experience. It can take 5 seconds to 5 hours to catch something. And so it was with these sharks. And so we waited. The Marine Weather Channel was predicting afternoon thunderstorms, which would require us to head back to port by noon. So that was kind of concerning me a little bit. We were about 12 miles from shore, and the water here was about 200 feet deep. And every once in a while, we'd glance at the fish finder, and it finally happened. Cindy was the first, and it was a fair-sized shark. Immediately, all of the other lines were reeled in. The captain got to the wheel to ensure the boat was positioned appropriately for the fight. At first, the sharks sometimes don't even know they've been hooked, but suddenly this one did. And someone rushed to Cindy's aid to hook her rod and reel to her vest so the rig wouldn't be pulled from her hands by a desperate shark. And the fight was on.
There he is.
Yeah, pull him in. Yeah. Good. Yes, fresh. Right, reel. No. He's swimming to the boat.
Forward, man. This thing's going around the boat, my God.
Yeah, forward.
You want to pass it off?
Good.
You all right?
Later.
Mike, can you close?
There he is. I got color.
Guys.
Hold on. It's a blue shark.
Yeah, it's a blue shark. Oh man, there he goes. All right, you can stop. Hold on.
I don't know how much more I can hold this.
After realizing Cindy had caught a blue shark, it was cut loose because it wasn't the kind of shark you could eat. How'd that feel?
All right.
Nice job.
Thank you.
So what was he?
It's a blue shark.
Yeah?
Yes.
You've caught some blue shark before, right?
I've caught a bunch of blues before.
So your arm's tired, or?
My arms are tired, back's a little sore, but give a few minutes rest, we'll get back in the game.
Good job. You know, there is a palpable excitement in the air after the first strike. There's anticipation of the notion that where there's one shark, there may be another. And if this was what it was like to be in a shark tournament, it was a pretty good feeling. So I asked Jack Donlin, the tournament director, to tell me more.
So the tournament's going to be June 23rd through June 26th. We kicked the whole thing off with a great party at On the Deck. They're wonderful hosts. They're going to have a nice buffet for our anglers. We're going to talk about the rules, what you can do, what you can't do, and what happens if you do what you're not supposed to be doing. Then Friday morning, the boats will all line up off Sandy Hook. We'll have a NASCAR start. The boats get to leave in the order that they actually signed up. So the early signers get the advantage, and boats can wait for up to an hour to take off if they wait to the last minute to sign up. So once they take off, they'll go out to the fishing grounds. They'll head out to the canyon, to the chicken, wherever they're going to go to fish. They'll spend the day out there chumming, fighting the sharks, recording their catches, verification, and maybe catching the big one. They have to be back, and it all ends for the day at 8 o'clock. So they can come back to the weigh station anytime between 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock at night. They bring in their shark or their verification of the catch and releases. We have a judge there. We go over everything. We welcome them back. We help them hose down their boat with a big welcome and some music. So after they check in their sharks, we determine their score. Everybody signs off on it, and it all starts again. The whole new group goes out Friday night. They fish overnight, come back Saturday morning. Another group will go out Saturday morning, come back Saturday night. And the last group We'll go out Saturday night and come back Sunday morning. So 8 o'clock Sunday morning, the whole thing ends as far as the fishing goes. The sharks will be in, all the catches and releases will be done, and we all meet up at the Shore Casino at the Atlantic Highlands Marina on Sunday at 2 o'clock for the awards banquet. The Shore Casino, another great host. They'll be out there. They'll put a buffet out for us. We'll have a nice banquet. We have a DJ Left Shark, I believe, is going to be there. And it's just going to be a great time for all. They get to listen to me talk again. We give out the awards. We talk about the sponsors. And we set it all up again for next year.
Now, this shark was a small blue shark, which had gotten caught up in the line, and they spent a lot of time trying to free it, which they eventually did.
Throughout all the years in the tournament, we've always tried to gear it towards families. We've tried to keep it away from being just a big shark hunting experience. So anyone that wants to do it, we have awards for the juniors, we have awards for the ladies, and more importantly than ever, we want to bring new people in. So someone who doesn't have a boat, doesn't have gear, doesn't have a clue, we bring them down. You want to just fish for shark, that's one thing. You want to charter a boat and fish for shark, that's great. But if you want to be in a shark tournament, where you can come down and talk shark and learn about it and go out with an experienced captain who's going to have all the state-of-the-art equipment, all the bait you need. You don't have to worry about any of the decisions. You bring your lunch, you bring some sunscreen, you bring 2 strong arms, and you get to fight the shark. And you know what? There's a really good possibility that they can win as well.
I've never caught a shark. I wouldn't know how to begin. What do I do?
Well, it's real simple. If you head out to the website, sharkchallenge.org, you'll find an area for someone that has no boat, no crew, and no clue. You click on that, you send us your information, and we'll be glad to talk you through the entire process. We have opportunities for people to join established teams with professional shark fishermen that have actually won our tournament in past years. Very experienced, top-of-the-line equipment, top-of-the-line electronics. They supply all the bait, the food, everything you need for the day. And all you do basically is show up and experience the tournament.
Now, the next strike turned out to be the biggest catch of the day. But the weather was also turning, and the boat was rocking violently from a storm surge.
Watch this out there. That's a big blue shark. There he is, Frank. Get that shot, John. Well, that's a wrap. That's a day, man.
Oh, no.
This guy good.
All right, mission accomplished.
What was that like?
Everything's out of order,
Very,
right?
very exciting.
I'm going to come up
Yeah?
very slowly, but I'm coming up.
What was his strategy to get away?
His strategy, fight like hell.
So we have several different divisions. You can fish in the 28-foot and under division, which is a smaller division for smaller boats, and they fish it in a different way. That entry fee for a whole team is $250. They have the option of fishing just one day or several different shifts. They can come back and fish over and over. If they're in the full tournament, that's any size boat without restriction. They can have as many people on that boat as their boat will safely and legally allow, and that entry fee would be $500 for the entire team. If you're a lone fisherman or someone who's never done it before and really want to experience it, we're going to put you on a boat with some professional fishermen. You're going to join a charter that's in the tournament. That price is $400. However, that includes everything: tournament, fuel, gear, bait, all the expertise of a professional charter fisherman, and a really, really good shot at the money. I think you got a good taste of what goes on a shark fishing trip. We shortened it a little bit because of the weather, which is great. If this was a competition, we'd have stayed no matter what. If it rained, if it blew, if it flipped us over, we'd have been there competing all day. But seeing those blue sharks, getting them to the boat, that would have been worth 300 points in the tournament. Last year, that would have put you in the money. So go on out and have a good time and bring back the shark.
Gary Carr, Hazlitt, New Jersey. Run a boat called Fishing Addiction, and I'm a partner on a website called Charter Fox, and we represent about 180 boats up and down the East Coast from Maine to Florida.
And what do you like about shark fishing?
Got into it about 3 years ago. Just went out first trip, 213-pound thruster, and just got hooked on it. That was it.
My name is Joe Mealy. I'm from Leonardo, right here, local. Good day blue shark fishing, and that's it pretty much.
And you had one on the line?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. We boarded in and we safely released it.
My name's Captain Mike Towney. I'm from Cliffwood Beach, New Jersey. We went out and got some blue sharks today. Three to the boat. One busted off, and they were all safely released. And it's a good day. The wind blew up, cut our trip a little short. back out there again next week and do it all over.
My name's Cindy Johnston. I live in Eatontown, New Jersey, and I've gotten into shark fishing more so because of tournaments. But it's a lot of fun to go out and go catch it, and to sit there and also with the crew and to have the camaraderie of everything and work as a team. That's what we go out for and have fun.
You pulled one in today. How do you feel about it?
I feel really good about it. I feel better than what I did earlier.
Rich Redfern, I'm from Bergen County. I drive an hour down here to come be on my boat, you know. It's an amazing rush. Love it. On my boat, the Real American. Got into shark fishing when I was a little kid with my buddy Robbie and his dad on a bigger boat than this. And it was my goal to finally get something I can get out there and do it on my own. So had a great day. Love the shark fishing. I love the silence to the excitement.
Well, shark fishing was never one of the activities on my bucket list, but I'm glad I experienced it. It was a great feeling having a good group of fishermen to hold my hand, as it were, and let me put my camera between them and the shark in some cases, which I'm sure made them feel uncomfortable, but I got some great shots. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I recognize that shark fishing isn't for everybody, but maybe you learned a little bit more about sharks. I hope so. I sure did. Anyway, that's it for me. You know how it goes. If you see me out there and about in the Jersey Bay Shore, I hope you'll stop and say hello. Because, as always, nothing is more important to me than meeting you. So long, everybody. This summer, create your own adventure at the New Jersey Bay Shore, where the sun always rises and sets on the water. Enjoy more than 30 miles of sandy beaches, at the ocean, along the rivers, or on the Raritan Bay. Almost every water sport can be found at the Bay Shore, from boating to fishing to swimming to beachcombing. Whether you drive, take the train, or hop aboard a convenient ferry from New York City, the Jersey Bay Shore is right in your own backyard. Enjoy the scenery, history, and local attractions, such as Sandy Hook, the historic Twin Lights, or hike through the hills of Highlands. But don't forget to try one of our waterfront dining experiences before you leave. Your adventure is waiting to be discovered at the Jersey Bay Shore. Visit us at jerseybayshore.com.